Hi, welcome back. This is now issue 98 of Build the Back to the Future DeLorean. Okay, so in this issue, we're going to be doing the front, well, starting the front flux bands. I have actually been slightly dreading this issue. I've seen some, and apparently it's not very good. Although I have seen one post on Facebook and it looked amazing, and it was this. I know a lot of people are using EL wire. I want to try and avoid that if I can. I want to try and get this to work. I've seen one working perfectly. I've got a little mod that might help, and that is that instead of using the tape to secure the optic wires to the LED, I'm actually going to use some heat tubing and see if that'll, do a better job really, and more focus the light. Because when it shrinks, it's going to sort of shrink it into the right place. That's the plan, but we'll see obviously when we come to it. So let's crack on and see what happens. Okay, so here we go. This is issue 98. So let's open up the package. We'll just check off all the parts, and then we'll get starting. As I say, I mean, I was slightly dreading this issue because it does look very fiddly, and obviously the LEDs aren't of the greatest quality either, so we don't really want to be moving them around too much in case we get some split wires, but we'll see. So we've got in this issue a left divider, okay, and that is this here. We've also got a right divider, and I'm just seeing, right, okay, yeah, that is the left. It's got an L written on the back there, you can just about see. And then this one says R, so that's the right divider. Okay, so I'll keep them there. So we've got left and right. We've got 98B, which is a junction. 98B, yeah, which is a junction box, and that is that one there. Obviously, these are different. So that'll be the left. This will obviously, well, hopefully be the right side. Oh no, right, excuse. That does say R in the back. So that's the right hand side. That says L in there. If I get that the right way around. See L. So that's going to be the left hand side. We've got two plates, and these are identical. And they've just got two locating pins, so I expect there'll be a push fit connection. Okay, we've also got two lots of adhesive tape, and I suspect this is what will actually be securing the fibre optics to the LED, but as I say, I'm going to try and use heat tubing instead of that. Obviously we've got the two filaments, and this is fairly soft. Okay, and then we've also got some KM screws and IP screws. So let's get started. So I have got a hot air gun here. It's like a solder station, and I'm just going to grab my heat tubing. I got this really cheap on eBay. It's 560 pieces of heat tubing, and it was really, I think it was like £3. So I thought, I mean, I got this for another project, but I'm thinking this may be ideal for this. And those, I'm sure most of you do know what this stuff is, but those of you that may not, it's basically tubing, and then you put in what you want to secure, and then you heat this up, and then the tubing will actually shrink. And the plan is it's going to shrink nicely and grip the LED and our fibre optics into place. That's the plan. I just think it'd be a neater and more secure way of doing it. So we'll see if that works for us. Okie doke. So we're going to be working on. I'm going to move the car into the shot. Let me just move some of these out of the way. So they're the right parts, and then I've got the left parts up there. Just trying to organise myself a little bit better. Okay, and then we'll bring the DeLorean in. And of course I will adjust the camera. Ooh. Right, so hopefully, sorry about the you can see, there we go, you can see where I'm at. So we're working down here. Okay, so the first thing I want us to do is obviously take off the temporary tape, and obviously be really careful because this is actually really sticky. And then we're going to see our LED come back through here. Right, let's try and get you a better view. Okay. So we've got our LED there, and the first thing it wants us to do to the manual is we need to grab these two, like fibre optics if you like, and it wants us to line them up together like that, both of them, and then use the tape to secure them in front of the LED like so. So I'm going to try using some heat tubing. So the first thing I have to do is find the right size. Okay, I like the look of that. So I'm just going to cut it to length. So I'm going to do it slightly longer than the stickers that they supplied. There we go. And then I'll cut the other one the same because we're going to be doing the same on the other side. Sorry, I know you can't see this. They're wanting to roll off the table. Okay, so we've got our two little lengths of heat tubing. So I'm going to pop that over the LED, and I'm going to try and get the back of the LED into there as well, about halfway, and then I'm going to feed the two fibre optics in. There we go, and they will then stop where they don't want to go any further, because obviously the LED is this is the perfect size just for the LED to fit. Okay, and then what we're going to do, I'm going to turn my heat gun on, and this is the nozzle, and I've got this set at 150 degrees, and that is the perfect temperature for this heat tubing. Okay, and then I'm going to give that a heat, and there you can see There we go. That's all it needed. And now, as you can probably see, that has shrunk to the shape of the LED. These are still very slightly loose. Right, so in that respect, maybe we will use the tape as well. But the idea of using the heat shrink is to block the sides of the LED out. So that is going to be, there won't be any light shining through this. So this will direct all the light down because I'm just doing this, you know, offhand. This is just an experiment. But that will direct all of the light down the optics. That is the plan. That's the great idea about the heat tubing. So what I'm actually going to do is I am going to use some of the supplied tape because even though it's shrunk, it's not holding them in as tight as I'd like them to. So I'm just trying to get some of this adhesive off the backing paper. There we go. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap it just around the very edge like so. So it grabs the heat tubing and it also grabs the actual fibre optic, just to stop them pulling out. Okay. Ooh, okay. I hope that sort of makes sense. So it's quite awkward to film. Okay, so once we've done that, wind the tape around the yep. So we've done that, and it says make sure we've got the two dividers marked to hand. Okay, so we're going to want the left-hand junction box, and then we're going to pop the LED in there. Let me just have a look at the image. It's showing it in there like so, with the wires coming through. So it's going to look something like that. So the LED is going to fit into there, and then obviously the wire is going to come out the gap there. And then what we're then going to want to do is get the IP screws, which I've got to hand here. Okay, and then we also want the left divider. And as you can see, I'm just going to move the camera, sorry about the camera angle. You can see that there's two channels in there. That's going to be where this the fibre optics are going to sit. So we're going to line that up in there nicely. The fibre optics are going to fit, hopefully, just in there like so. And then we're going to take our IP screw. It is quite fiddly. We're going to take our IP screw and we're going to screw that in. That will just further help secure those fibre optics into place. So that's one in. Now actually, apart from this being a bit fiddly, it's actually just going to loosen that one. Actually quite a nice issue, and it's going to bring so much to it. I mean, hopefully if this works well, this should be good. So then what we're going to do is we're going to flip this round, bear in mind not to catch any cables, and you've got a locating peg just at the bottom there. You can just about see that. That's going to fit into the hole, and then that's just going to fit on there like so. And then we're going to use a KM screw to secure that in. I keep dropping my screwdriver. So I'm trying to hold that in place so nothing moves anywhere. And then we're going to put the KM screw through. There we go, like that. And that'll hold that into place. Okay, once we've done that, we're going to gently push the upper and lower filaments into the brackets. So, yeah, they've got all the way around, obviously, the brackets we've fitted. It just wants us to fit them into place. Now, these aren't actually staying into place. They sort of have a tendency to wanting to pop out. So as long as they're sort of in a general positions, I think we'll be okay, because this will be secured later on. So what I'm going to do now is just cut here and then just rearrange my camera angle for you, and then we'll get on, because we're going to be having to do the other side next. Okay, so I am back. I've moved the car around. So as I was saying, we need to get these flux bands, and they're supposed to gently fit into the brackets like so. But obviously, as I say, they're not actually really staying in at this time. But later on, I think they will be secured into place. But they generally, yeah, just like that. Let's say they're not staying in at the moment. Okay. So what we're gonna do next is repeat what we did on the other side. It is telling us to put these covers on, but these are obviously push fit. So I'm going to wait until we've done this in case I need to make any adjustments, and then we can always come back. We can come back and do them afterwards, depending on the results. So we're going to do the same again. So I'm just going to remove the temporary tape. Just move you in so you can see. So yeah, I'm going to remove the temporary tape. Let's say careful with the LED and the cables there. And if you remember, when we put this together, I said make sure you've got a bit of length either side, and that is really helpful. So I'm hopefully that if you were following this build, you did sort of take note and do that, because that has made makes your life a little bit easier. Okay, so again, we're going to take the heat tubing. I'm just going to pop it over the LED and some of the cables. Okay, I'm happy with that. And then obviously bring these round. Make sure they're not crossed or twisted or anything, because obviously we need to fit these in. Oh. The correct way. So for me it's going to be like that. Now I'm not sure if it needs, I mean it's not telling us to cut these down, but if anything I think these are going to be a bit too long. But it's difficult because I don't really know where to cut them if I was to cut them. So I'm just going to test fit this piece. Okay, so it's obviously going to go on there. Yeah, I'm actually going to cut these down slightly. Obviously it doesn't tell us to. But I think it's going to be too long. So I'm just going to get my my cutters and just cut a little bit off of that. Yeah, very awkward. So I'm going to hold that there, and then I'm going to get the hot air. Like so, just to keep that, shrink that down. And then I'm losing everything today. Where's that gone? There we go. Just need my tweezers. Again, I'm going to take this tape off. Or try, because it's really sticky. It doesn't even want to come off the backing paper. There you go. Okay, and then as we did before, I'm just going to wrap that round, just so that sticks to the actual fibre optics. Okay, just move you back, line these up again so they're straight. I'm just going to pull them back out for a moment. Hope you can see what I'm doing. This is really fiddly. Okay, and then we're going to pop that back in to secure the fibre optics, like so. Yeah, this is really fiddly. It's easy doing one side because you've got, you know, plenty of room to move, but where you're trying to get these in as tight as possible, so we're going to use those screws again, the IM screws, just to secure that in. Okay, now I can then put these through because we've done the lining up. Okay, and then we're just going to pop that in. Brilliant, there you go, and that is now in place. And then we're going to use the KM screw, holding that tight, to secure that into place. Yeah, and I'm really happy with that. They're fairly taut, so that looks like that's going to sit nicely. Just pull that side up. Okay, and there we go. That is the bands on the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch her on, and then let's see what sort of effect we get. It may not make any difference. It was just an idea I had. So let's see if we've got power yet. We have. Right, there we go. Turn the light off there. Yeah, see, it's not great. It's not really helped. I've still got, you know, the dark bit in the middle. But I think without using the EL wire, it's going to be difficult. As you know, I think EL wire will be the best thing to use. But yeah, I'm happy with that. That's all lit. I think the darker it is, the better it'll be. But it certainly shows off what it's supposed to be. And when it's on the shelf, you're going to look at it from the side anyway, and that's nice and that's doing that nicely. So okay, so now that's done, all we're going to do is, I mean, obviously we should have done these earlier, but I wanted to wait to make sure all these went in okay. We've got these covers, and they are just push fit connection, and they're just going to push in to cover the screw holes like so. So we'll do that one, and then obviously we've got the one for the other side, which you probably won't be able to see me put on, but it's the same way. Just pop that on. There we go. And then that's just on there like so. Okay, yep, so that is it for issue 98. I'm sorry if the camera was a little bit funny or you missed anything. It seemed to work okay. As I say, the heat tubing was okay, but it hasn't really made a drastic difference to the overall look of it, I don't think, by what I've seen. I thought it might direct the light a bit more, but it, as I say, it hasn't really changed. It hasn't made it any better than what I've seen with people just using the tape alone. So yeah, probably not worth doing. You might as well just do it as the magazine states. But obviously if you've got some heat tubing and you want to do that, then it's not going to make any difference. You know. Anyway, so that's it. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. If you wish to buy me a coffee, there is a link in the description below. So yeah, until next week, take care and have a good week.